Good morning, everyone. Welcome to ROG DreamLeague Season 8. That's right, it's morning. It's China Day. Well, no, it's China weekend. Let's be more precise. We have 4 teams.
China!
And we need only one to survive the weekend.
What?
Yes, this is how it works. Welcome to DreamLeague. It's the Hunger Games now.
It's like, wait, have you seen that film? I can't remember. I think it might have been Japanese, actually. The original Hunger Games. Like the
Yeah. Battle Royale.
Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great film, yeah.
Good times. Good time. A lot of murder in that one, Sheaves. Your kind of flick. A lot of violence, gratuitous, you know? It was great.
Is that what we're going to see today?
I don't know.
See tomorrow?
Probably, hopefully, we see some graphic violence.
I mean, there's
people of Asian descent.
We re-rented a pit somewhere in China. And they're going to just dump the teams and they're going to fight. Somewhere in China.
China!
China!
You're gonna hear that a lot today. But,
yeah.
I'm pumped, boys. Gonna see some Chinese Dotes. I haven't watched Chinese Dotes since TI and the TI finals. I didn't get to see a lot of Chinese Dotes in that one.
Don't worry, Newbie has played 2 games or 4 games total since TI. So.
That's not true. They played in DPL. They're like
4
top
games.
of the boards.
They played 4 games.
Yeah, before 2-game series, so 8 games.
Really? Oh, I just looked at Dota buff and only showed 4 games total.
Well, I have
I'm
just
wrong.
seen that they have done quite well in DPL.
Oh, well, they were owning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to see my man SC become a supervillain.
All right.
Yeah.
He's got the makings
that anger. Yeah. That rage that we saw in True Sight. Bring it out, baby. Get pissed. It's good.
I guess Dota buff didn't record all the games. Now I'm triggered.
It's okay.
Have a
look.
I'll check on my aces.
Did you at least see the ones played yesterday?
Your Asus Zenpad?
They played versus...
They played versus Vici.
Vici was yesterday, right?
Yeah, the same team that they're going to go up against in the first round today.
Take a look.
Get the stats so full.
This Asus says... I don't know how to use this thing.
Welcome,
Mr. Pixel.
I was alright. Did you sleep alright? I mean, I'm in the same time zone. You've had a bit of jet lag, haven't you?
Oh.
No, it says they played 4 games total. This must be wrong. I guess it didn't update all the way.
Asus Zenpad fight. Look it up, Chief.
I'm going to look it up, too.
It says they played Vici.
I will get rid of my Sharks versus Bees search.
And then they played IG Vitality. And they went 2-0 versus Vici and 1-1 with Vitality.
What a fantastic product that we're able to look up and have this nerd fight right here live.
Oh, no, I was just... I mean, I literally looked at it 5 seconds ago. I trust Sheaves more than I trust anything else.
Well, I might have seen only, like, not enough or something.
What?
I'm not sure.
What?
Right.
Just hold, please.
What's the worst sleep you guys have ever, like the worst sleep situation ever?
Definitely when I was working in the shop and I went on a night out and I had to open the shop at 5 AM and I got back into my bed with my KFC and I was like sitting there drooling with these chicken wings hanging out my mouth and I checked, it's like 4 AM and I'm like, no, I really was not. And I had a little bit of sleep. Went to work.
That's true.
Had to sneeze.
Sold some drugs in the pharmacy, as you do.
Nice.
And yeah, was
about
very glad to get to the end of that day.
Dude, they played so many games.
They did play a lot of games, right? It's just not showing them.
They played 1-1 against VGJ Thunder.
Yep.
They 2-0'd IG. They 2-0'd CDC. They 1-1 to LFY.
So they
2-0'd VG and they 1-1 to IG
Where are you finding all
Vitality.
these?
On the DPL score things on Gosu Gamers.
On Gosu Game. Yo, Dota Buff is letting me down.
Oh, shit.
Dota Buff actually literally just shows them playing 2 games.
It's a group.
Oh, and now it shows them playing loads of games.
You know where we could have really found all this information?
That's actually probably the
Strife Esports. What? Strife?
Strife is actually a competing game to Dota. We don't talk about this. I think
Strafe Esports app would have. I bet you they're on there. Look that.
They probably are.
Dude, what
Strafe
the hell?
Esports.
It still doesn't say it.
I think it's just Strafe. I don't think it's Strafe.
I got 2 stories for you about bad sleeping when it comes to Dota and harsh mornings. All right.
What do you do?
I was at the I think it was the Mafia LAN one time. They were out of beds, and I always wanted to sleep inside of a hot tub, so I just went in there and I got some blankets and I slept in there.
Oh yeah.
Don't sleep inside tubs. It ain't like I Am Legend, okay? The porcelain never heats up. You're just constantly drags your body heat away. I almost got hypothermia in that
What happens if
thing.
you like rub the porcelain?
You're in the tub. You think your body heat's gonna heat it up? No, it's a freezing nightmare.
Why don't you just slightly fill it up with a bit of water?
That's
Oh my God.
can't be great for
But
you.
then the water cools down.
Sheaves.
Then you actually get hypothermia 4 hours later.
Yeah, they played a lot of games.
They play loads of games.
They played 2, 4, yeah, they played like 12. You're right.
I was in DAC one time.
Don't blame Dota Buff.
They
What
gave
did
us
you do?
a bunch of free Oreos. And
they?
I got addicted to Oreos.
Well, oh, because we could use the minibar.
In the
for free.
rooms, the mini bar.
We had,
yeah, I
we
remember
had a
that.
free
I
minibar
remember
at
that.
DAC. Shout out to.
So I was in a hotel and I was eating a pack of Oreos every day.
I remember that was good.
Eventually, I started making myself sick because I ate so many Oreos. So one night, I fell asleep and I was eating Oreos in bed, and I just took a shower and I dried myself off on the blankets to the bed. So the bed's really wet, and then I started getting Oreo crumbs everywhere.
What
And then I
the
picked a scab and I started bleeding, and I
Ugh.
fell asleep in the Oreos and the wet blood. And then I woke up and the wrapper was under my armpit, and when I crawled out of bed, the Oreos and blood was everywhere, and the maids never came back. They
Oh.
refused to clean my room after they saw that bed, and I just never felt worse.
And I never want to eat Oreos ever again.
I had a Heineken for dinner and breakfast every morning.
It worked. DAC.
DAC.
Yeah, it was awful.
The minibar dream.
I
yeah.
was
The
not,
minibar.
I was not sleeping
The
at that
free
tournament.
minibar. I don't think it would. Do you think they intended for them to be free, or at the end they were like,
No, they intended it.
Yeah.
They
It
did.
was intentional.
They-
So
didn't
it
just
was
check the bill at
actually
the end.
intended for the players, or at least we got the rundown, or not the rundown, like the sheet, like welcome to the tournament and all that. And somewhere in there was complimentary minibar, and then we double checked. Does this go for talent as well? Because it was mostly information for players, and they said yes.
So the packets of Oreos came in 10. I know I ate at least one every day, and we were there for 2 weeks, and then I traded for 5 extra packets. I was giving
I gave you
people-
mine.
Right, I was
I did
giving
give you
people
mine.
beer for Oreos. So how many Oreos did I eat on that trip? 10 a day for 2 weeks plus 50.
190.
I ate 190 Oreos. What a great trip. Thank you.
This was all in China.
China!
Was the Chinese Oreos? Do they taste different to like American?
Oh,
Oreos?
yes.
They put
did.
less white stuff in the middle.
Really? But isn't it better quality one?
Oh, it's high quality.
It's high quality.
They know how to
white.
make some Oreos
Yeah.
over there. Yep.
Maybe that's all I'll eat next time I
It's
go.
the same as Europe, but it's different than America. But yeah, China.
China.
China!
We're gonna have Chinese
It
donuts
happens
today.
every 2 seconds now.
What are you looking at now, Fog? I know that once you start looking things up on
because
these end pods, you
apparently
can
like,
keep
I'm
going.
wrong about everything. I don't know anything about that's happening. I don't know any team, how many times they've played lately. I'm checking Vici because it showed they played a lot though. It showed they played a lot in this on Dota Buff, and they were playing
Vici?
a lot of.
Vici actually qualified also a lot.
Yeah.
They qualified for, I have it here, they qualified for Star Ladder and Dota Pit.
And what? That's
And they played in the rest.
and FY's playing core. I think it was right or something.
I did not check
Or did I
that.
hear that?
That's the type of research
That's
I
our
leave
job.
to my panelists.
That's
How
our
are you all
job.
unaffected by the China song? You're just talking over it.
We heard it.
I heard
It's a
about it.
dank ass
I
beat.
saw them dancing to it in the studio before, man.
We're all about those dank Chinese Trump beats.
I'm just looking at them like, look at this in this monitor down here. It's going crazy.
It is.
Zooming in on you and shit.
Did you guys hear about the future man?
The future man.
Didn't we go over that
What was
already?
it? What was the future man?
I was specifically said that I did not think that would be a good topic to talk about.
The future man.
A guy, I was on the news that said a guy came from the future, and he came back and he said that he's from 50 years in the future.
He's from 2048.
yeah.
Oh.
He accidentally went to 2017. He should have gone to 2018, so that was a
To
mistake.
warn us about the alien invasion.
Yes.
What kind of alien?
And we have to just make sure they leave as fast as possible. It didn't say about ever arriving, or it didn't say anything about aliens. Just
Wait, what?
make
How'd
sure
you
they
make them
leave.
leave. Wouldn't you just kill them?
Get
Like,
the hell
how
out
do
of
they
here!
leave?
Wait,
You
FY's
can't
not
ask
even.
an alien
He
to leave.
specifically said make them leave as soon as possible.
FY's not even on this team.
Are you still doing?
FY is on LGD.
They all moved around in a massive Chinese shuffle after PI.
Wait, they're currently playing a game.
Are they?
Well,
Yeah.
LGD is not playing first.
Yeah.
No, Vici's playing a game right now versus
No,
IG.
they're not.
They're playing in DPL right now, game 2 live.
Oh, check it out on your Asus on the Twitch.
Is it actually
Are they actually in a game?
Because is it not a rerun? Are you sure?
boys.
It says no log has been recorded and nothing's happening either. So I think that's
Oh,
just
it's just a bug.
it's just a bug.
Right.
Great. All right. So,
Thank God.
just before we continue with this, I just want to point out that yesterday we had an EU day. And just so that you can, we might not talk about Dota, but you can watch a little bit of Dota. If you missed yesterday, we have some of the top plays of yesterday. Let's take a look.
Just
dual setup into the ice path. Aloha's in a whole world of pain. Reaper Side comes in, doesn't get the initial kill, but it does get the kill nonetheless. Doesn't matter because buyback is there. Aloha's goes straight back in, but they've lost another buyback from the IO. Vega throwing everything in for this last defense. They've got the 3-man Dream Call. Do they have the follow-up? Aloha's looking towards Crystallize, but Na'Vi just stand their ground, take down the tier 3. BKB out on Aloha does, but he's still taking so much right click from Dendi. Dendi, light strike onto Slayer. Dendi gets the double kill. Dendi, he takes down another. They're all dead apart from this Zayak IO, and he is the last to pop.
Oh my, yeah, honestly. Oh, S4 killed all those spiders. Juicy, delicious money. And he has a Veil too, so that increased magic damage.
Bottom lane, Jax. They should be able to save him here. With the familiar stuns, they're able to turn it. He doesn't get the damage. It would have been a nice bit of a cherry on top. But they do get the kill. That's the Legion gone. Double kill for Notel. Notel, very confident Visage player and really playing around with Vega Squadron. He'll try and turn with the Fiend's Grip, but he takes a Chain Frost to the face. There's a fly, has no messing around. Notel.
Oh, it bounces to
Aloha
too.
Still bouncing, indeed. One more. Oh, fly.
Oh
Those beautiful bouncy blue balls of yours.
Straight away.
G jumps in. Looking Slayer actually doesn't get the
Three-man
first
route.
strike. Indeed, G has to put the BKB straight away. They'll jump forward. Lower dance as well. Looking for Fly. Mana Void finishes him off. Turns towards S4. That's the second one down. G falling low to the army of Resolution. Resolution doppelgangers. Can he actually fight around this? They'll take down G. Notail still zip-zapping around here with the remnants. Resolution trying to crawl himself back to safety. Afterlife picks off Jarrett to the side. OG, they've lost 3. Resolution coming back forward. A lower dance though, he's back up to full health. Stun connects in onto Rezo. He's falling down low. He's going to get bashed up. He's out and down. He can buy back. Notel solo again with the sleight of fist trying to dodge the right clicks. He is he's still alive. Surely he's finally goes down. He gets shielded up. In comes Rezo. Can Rezo do anything to rectify this game for OG? I think it's unlikely. Notel finally falls. They know.
Rezo now too. Rezo getting stunned up.
They finish this game off, and indeed, Rezo's gone. Vega Squadron, they take the win. GG is called.
Vega Squadron, they managed to get a point there yesterday against OG, but they lost 3. Well, they let 3 slip in a way, but they have a chance to redeem themselves. We'll see them back on Monday. We'll have a doubleheader of Vega actually again then. But for today and for tomorrow, it's all about the Chinese Dota, and for that, we have China.
What?
We have a bracket.
Oh, I just heard China. We have a China.
China! Well, we do that too, but we also have a bracket. So it's going to be a double elimination bracket. At the end, only one team remains. Today, we'll have a newbie versus Vici, LFY versus LGD, and then the lower bracket match round 1, which means one of these 4 teams will be going home today. Well, they're playing from home. Will be eliminated today.
What if they get kicked out of their homes if they lose?
Well, then they're leaving their home today.
Hell yeah!
I gotta get more energy. These teams are actually. This is like 4 of the best teams that are around right
yes,
now. Like,
it really
they're from
is.
China. Those are like 4 of the most dominant teams.
Don't worry, don't worry. And for people at home, if it's still morning, you're still in your coffee, you're still, sipping, and you're kind of have a slow start, It's fine. This Dota that you're about to see, that will wake you up.
Like an adrenaline shot straight to the chest, bruh.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
You know that feel?
You only do that.
You never do it.
You only do that in the movies.
Straight up in the heart, dog.
You only do that in the movies.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I think you don't put it in the heart always. Put it in the
You
leg.
just stab him.
You just go like right there.
Depends on the shot.
In the movie, it's in the chest.
Oh, in the movie, I know, but I'm sure you're supposed to just do it in like.
Shut up, everybody. So good. Ready?
The original.
Sweet Caroline. Ba, ba, ba.
Right.
That's something we're gonna do today. We're gonna do the ba ba ba.
Yeah. Welcome
Guest
to
of the
Dream.
week.
Is it time?
No, not yet. Just kidding.
I think I know what you're. No, it is time.
Let's get blitz.
It is time.
Let's get out of it.
Guest of the week time. Right now. Let's do it.
My shoes.
Here he is, our guest of the week.
China.
That was a little bit
That
messed
was
up.
racist.
Yeah, that was actually
Dang me. What's
up the
going on
timing
back
on that.
there? Goddamn racist.
How are you doing
DreamLeague.
this morning, Will?
Good, good.
Good.
Decided to apparently watch Chinese Dota,
Yep.
so I'm.
You actually said that you were more excited about this than the rest of the games.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
These-
thought you were gonna say, "Are you actually Chinese?"
What?
For a second when you led with that question.
Only DreamLeague.
I thought this was gonna be like the theme of the day.
T.I. and then Blitz comes on and fucking fights goes on and goes, China! You know how much trouble they get into. I love this program. Move on.
Do you need a moment?
I'm good.
You're good?
You
Okay.
alright?
So, because I want to talk about the Chinese Dota because, as Fog said, these 4 teams are 4 of the best teams in China right now.
They are.
And the competition is normally very tight. Apart from Newbie, who's still on the very top, it feels like they just haven't dropped a beat since TI. They just continue dominating. Is that surprising to you?
Newbie?
Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, I think so. They've always been like that stable team before TI.
Yeah.
Like the meme about Newbie was always like they're gonna show up at every other event, but then when it comes to TI and when it comes to like the events that matter, they fall like just short because they won a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
And for them to just be able to like continue rolling, I don't think it's that big of a surprise.
You're back with us?
Hi, I'm back. Welcome back to DreamLeague, episode 8.
4.
Is that what it is?
ROG.
I don't think we're 8 in.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Newbie or something? About how good they are? Yeah, they a good team. They alright, you know. I feel like the drafts are a little predictable, if I
Yeah.
say, you know?
All right, so we're going to have Slacks do the war room today.
Hey!
Hey!
Okay, alright.
I want you to be able to guess the drafts
Yep.
of Newbie then.
Sure, you know?
At least one of the 5 heroes.
I would be okay.
You set the bar especially low and you still don't think I could do it. That's a little rough.
I'd be okay with you if you could name one of their players that isn't SECC.
Moogs? The Moogles? Moogies?
Okay.
I remember him because of True Sight.
Because
Very emotional.
that's true.
I
was
felt
very
like that a lot. You know, when his girlfriend said, you know, you're not a god, you're just a man. I
That wasn't his
like,
girlfriend.
Wasn't?
No, that
Who's
was
the Chinese commentator?
that was KP's girlfriend.
Oh. Sorry, KP's girlfriend. I didn't mean to make that judgmental call. But anyway, she said, you know... Yeah, thank you. Thanks for that bailout, guys. She said, you're not a god, dude. You're just a man. And I was like, yeah, you know what?
That was kind of, but they said it was his first year. But then they juxtaposed it with the fact that GH won
was his first
first
year.
year.
Well, he is
Yeah.
a god. GH isn't a man.
There's this thing in StarCraft called Royal Roaders.
Is it like
It's,
Rainbow Road?
What is it?
It's like the first time you play at it was at an OSL. If you won in your first time ever playing, like
Yeah.
that was the distinction. Like you were the king. Like you walked on like hallowed ground. And so like for me, GH is like he's a Royal Roader. You know, first TI wins it.
He does it.
Who else did?
Sumel.
Sumel was a.
First TI, he won it.
That's true.
And he was younger than GH as well.
Yeah. TI1 doesn't.
get
TI1
wrecked,
doesn't
GH.
count.
Idiot.
TI1 doesn't count
No.
Sure.
because TI1 was like everyone's first TI,
Yeah.
so somebody had to win it.
Yeah.
But like TI2 and on, didn't the IG team wasn't it all?
I mean, if you go further back, sure, at TI2, I'm sure it was someone's first TI.
yeah,
of
and then EGM, it was his first TI.
it was Bulldog's first
It
TI.
was Bulldog's first TI. There's like a lot.
Yeah,
in
there's
Dota.
a lot. Apparently, it's not that special.
Yeah.
Man, we should make a Mario Kart with Dota 2 players and personalities. Wouldn't that be fun?
A
I
Mario
wanna play
Kart?
that.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
then
like
that
you
could
guys
be
enough
like
for
the
that.
cool ass stage is Royal Road.
Royal Road. What is it like? Your first event, you cast a TI.
It's just the red carpet. You just drive around Key Arena in the Mario Kart.
Mm.
Let's work on a custom. Okay, sorry.
What was that? Was that the air horn?
No, that was just a
That
very
was
sad yay.
yay.
Ah, I see.
I know that noise. The
Yeah.
one guy in the crowd that's giving you pity. Yay.
Jake.
Go. It's a good try.
All right, so Newbie, but Newbie has been dominating and they're continuing to do well, so we are expecting them to do well here today as well.
It's a lot of times there's like that TI curse, but there's no real curse. What it is really is that you start to lose motivation, but I think it depends on how it hits you. Like if your team, such as DC or CDC, and you weren't meant to be there, I think once you get second, it's almost like you won.
Yeah.
Like when I used to talk to the DC guys, it was always like, oh, when we won TI, I mean when we got second. And so you know that mentality is like,
To them, they already
exactly, like,
surpassed their goal.
they weren't supposed to get that far. And so when you get there, it feels like a win.
Yeah.
And that's why it kind of hits you a little bit differently. But if you saw Newbie's reaction, like, of course everyone's upset when they lose, but you take it a little bit differently because for Newbie, they feel like they really should have won that event. Like when they got in there, they were like, we were the best team at that event. And so I think it hit them a little bit harder than a lot of the other teams that got second. And so for them, it's kind of like how EG was in the past when they would get third. They would just say like we need to get back in there. Like, we deserve to win this event, so let's show everybody.
Yeah, they let themselves down in their eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
So they get motivation from that, I guess. Yeah.
It's like if Slacks wins a pub, like, he's just happy in general to be there.
Every time I get a last hit, I'm like, wow, sick.
Got him.
That's great. It's great. I hope I never get good enough where last hitting doesn't become something that's positive, you know? The second that becomes just a normal everyday thing, I've played too much.
Just imagine, you can have a game where every little last hit is a victory, and so you have the game, even if you lose, you're like ecstatic because you got like 15 last hits. It's amazing.
Slacks, I checked through all of our games this week, by the way. All of our mutual games together.
Okay.
You have not gone positive in a single one of those games.
Positivity? I mean, luckily for me, it's not team deathmatch.
It's
Dota
not
2 is not about how many
Every
kills
other
and
person
deaths.
in our stack has gone
Who
positive.
cares? I like to win. Okay, there's a thing called tactical
We're not
feeding.
winning a lot with you, though, is the problem.
Tactical feeding is a thing.
It correlates into losing.
We won the Techies game.
We did.
Sure.
I don't lose techies games. But listen, Dota 2 is not about kills, deaths, money, farm. It's about winning or losing. And whatever happens, so long as you win, you played correctly.
We've got a 36% win rate together in our stack.
That's
Maybe you
great.
should
That's
nut
really
up,
not
all right?
great.
You play like a coward. I'm ready to fight, guys. I'm farm. Should we fight? Should we fight? Okay, I'm going in. And then 30 seconds later,
I
you
had
go
32 kills in 2 games.
in. Who cares? You got 32 kills because
I only won one of them.
you're in the back being a wussy.
Do you want to know Slacks' scores? Do you remember them?
I remember Sand
The
King game.
2 and 26 Sand King. And the 4 and 24 Disruptor.
This is bullshit. All right, we've talked several times that's space creation.
That's space creation.
When I was dying on, what was it?
The Venom
Jakiro or Veno? Veno, because the Jakiro I didn't die a lot on, but Veno.
The Venom was true space creation deaths.
Space creation death.
Space creation deaths are actual things, guys, in Dota. You know when you have like that pilot die that'll just like push in a wave, and then it's like, let's see what happens.
We actually saw it yesterday from Navi as well.
Yeah.
They just had Seneko on the Jakiro. He's like casually pushing tier 2 towers by himself. He dies to 3 people, but at the same time, the rest of the map is free for the rest of his team.
I like that a lot, though.
Thank you.
I like those kinds of plays by 5 position players.
Appreciate
Not by you. I don't think Seneko died 20. At some point, when you pass like 14, you should be thinking to yourself, guys, this might be a little bit too much.
I mean, I personally think that deaths are overpowered in Dota. You
had 100 deaths in 5
you give
games.
away less money, you respawn faster.
No, because of how far I am ahead, it drags the team up. So every time you die, Slacks, you're giving up 300 gold.
Yeah, but I mean, I respawn the quickest.
No, you gave
I'm
up.
back in action.
You gave up like a tier 1 item to their carry.
I mean, you should have been able to deal with it.
All right.
I did.
I'm Anyway.
Chinese Dota, we talked a little bit about Newbie. They're not the only team in this qualifier. Newbie actually has a luxury. Because they came second at TI, they get invited to a lot of events already. They feel like they can pick whatever they want and play in it. For the other 3 teams here, it's not the same. They have to play in all the qualifiers. And it's been a bit of a rough road. LFY has been in the finals of set qualifiers twice. Lost twice as well. It's kind of sad. Vici Gaming, they were the ones that actually qualified twice, so that's pretty good for them.
That's surprising.
Surprising? You don't expect them to do that well?
Not as fast, because LFI they're like a collected team, and so they did really well at TI.
Mm-hmm.
But all the qualifiers right now are just like absolute bloodbaths.
Yeah.
None of the regions are safe. Like, all of them are difficult. Like when I thought that NVE and them went to Fnatic in Malaysia or whatever, I thought that they were going to dominate C, but it's largely been like Mineski.
Yeah.
NA's been like a coin flip, like somebody new wins a qualifier every single time. It just like, it keeps changing. Like every team is qualified sans DC. And so it's become a little bit more of a crapshoot nowadays with how competitive everything is.
For the China region, there was obviously the qualifiers for Hamburg, which is another major.
Yeah.
Keen Gaming qualified.
Keen?
Keen.
China!
China. It's actually but the competition is actually really tough there, and all these teams tried, but I mean, luckily for Newbie, they got invited, but the rest just didn't make it.
You're loving the casual, like.
It cracks me up every time. Yeah, I guess, you know, it doesn't matter, though, if you lose qualifiers right now, because there's so many goddamn qualifiers.
Yeah,
Who
but the
cares?
thing is, okay, so there's so many. This is great, and we hear it all the time. You play loads of games. Let's say there's 5 tournaments this year still. 3 minors, 2 majors? No, there's 4 minors. There's 5 minors, 2 majors? 5 minors, 2 majors. Loads of qualifiers.
Yeah.
But you gotta qualify for something. And Vici qualified for 2, that's great. Newbie gets invited, that's great. LGD lost to Vici. LFY lost to Vici Gaming. And they have not been able to qualify for anything just yet.
Who cares? I mean,
they care. Actually, LGD got lucky because they got invited to Bucharest because probably Newbie declined that invite. So then LGD is like, yes, we can pick up the scraps of Newbie.
But there's like a billion qualifiers, so you lost out on 5. Oh well, I'll have to play the other 37.
Yeah, but you want the points.
No, but it's different. It's from a competitive standpoint, especially the first half of the year, it matters so much. You want to be playing on LAN as frequently as possible, especially in this side of the map.
And with all these qualifiers, what we heard yesterday as well from Avost, these qualifiers, you're playing in your region only. You're not learning the most you can because the only chance you have to play cross-region is if you actually qualify to a minor or major. Otherwise, you're stuck in your region and you don't know how you're going to do if you're meeting teams from other regions.
Yeah. Do you know how Newbie won TI4? It's because they only played in their region. All they played were in China. And that's
But it's
right.
different. Dota's become such a globalized game. If you remember Wings, when they boot camped for that TI that they won, they played exclusively in California.
Yeah.
For, I want to say, they were there for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Alongside like 4 other teams. Nowadays, it's not enough. In the past, it was. But we talked about it yesterday. Like, the game keeps evolving and it keeps getting harder and harder. It's not like a thing where you can just sit in your own region now. Nowadays, teams, like even Western teams, they're more willing to go to China than they were in the past because they want to just keep playing and stuff like that. Because you want to learn, you need to grow. If you don't grow, you're just going to get really stagnant in your own region. And if you're not absolutely the best, then you're just going to get bodied.
But isn't there an argument to be made that everyone always copies each other in Dota?
No, it's not like that because you have to learn these things like firsthand. For example, the Shanghai major that Secret won, they won that major because they went to China early. They played pubs. They ran into this Doom hero. They incorporated it into their own kind of playstyle, and they found the best of both worlds. You can't just blindly copy something in Dota is the problem. You can't just say, that team is winning with it, let's all do it. There's a principle behind it.
Right.
Even now, like Liquid, when they have this Veno and this Necro, I was streaming the other day and I was like, what's more broken, Matima Man? And he wasn't willing to tell me because even if it seems very obvious on paper, it's not. The concepts and ideas behind that are very unique to them. And so they understand how to draft. But if you don't get that kind of sense from playing against it consistently, then you're grasping at straws. You're coin flipping. You don't really understand.
You need to experience it.
Well, but what I'm saying is these teams are all playing against each other in their own defined meta, playing the heroes that are most optimal at that time. So you're going to see all of these
But you don't know what's
heroes,
better.
But you don't know what's better because you're playing all these same heroes. The ones that aren't playing in these tournaments against teams that are only picking the most meta heroes are the ones that are going to discover new interesting things because they're playing
by going
differently.
overseas.
No, by playing in pubs, by chilling by themselves.
By going overseas. There's only so much you can discover a lot in pubs, like I said, the Doom thing. But at the same time, like at some point you have to say like, okay, this is working out in my pubs. We need to expand past our current region, figure out if this playstyle is global. Because everybody does play differently. Everyone drafts differently. Like Vici's picking Skywrath, Mage, Faceless Void first 2. Who knows how that matches up against a different kind of meta?
Otherwise, you're going to have the same thing that, what was it, Faceless had. Do great in your region, and the moment that you leave your region, you fall flat because
they got bodied. They lost 17 series in a row or something like that because they weren't ready to play in those kinds of matches. Yeah.
It makes a great difference.
Every time you play a region, especially for both captains that I've worked with, they know. They're like, when you play against X type of team, this is what you pick. Because it's good against this kind of meta that they've developed for themselves.
Isn't there something to be said, though, for teams that like keep their drafts very secret, you know?
There's no such... All right, there's this myth in Dota that keeps being perpetuated that teams are hiding strats, like quote-unquote. You know, they're like, they play in this tournament. Yeah, it's not a thing. I want to get that out of the way right now. It hasn't been a thing. the other captains, I think, have publicly said it's not a thing.
Sure.
This idea of there's no cheese in Dota anymore. You're not going to level 1 Roche people. You're going to play a straight-up game.
That's bull.
We actually saw one strat that was saved. It was, I don't know where it was anymore, but it was the Invoker Brewmaster.
Yeah.
That was against us in
Chinese.
in China.
We have also got a draft, by the way. We can continue this discussion for hours, but we have a draft, so it's also time for the War Room.